everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Got my little stool here which will act as my chair. Look. Set it there. Alright. You will need a chair for today. Okay, you can see that my one is fairly low to the ground. It's only about, a foot off the ground. So it doesn't need to be as low as mine. You just need a seat. It can be your dining room table chair. It can be your couch. It can be, if you're doing this outside later on, you can be sitting on the edge of a deck or step or chair outside. So to run through what's going to happen today, full body. I hope you've had a magnificent weekend. It's always tough on a Monday to get into it. So well done for either pushing play this morning, today, or if you do end up showing up live, well done for getting up and setting that alarm. Mondays are always hard, but you'll never regret the workout that you show up for. So we have got a 5-minute seated upper body part that we're going to start with here. So we're going to start with our arms. That's where we need the seat. Okay, so we're going to do 2 sort of little sets of moves, and they're going to start to build on. So our first move is palms towards the body, front raise. So we're here, okay? So palms are facing in, dumbbells are pointing forward, and then the dumbbells point to the ceiling, okay? And then we're here. Watch that our shoulders don't creep up. Then our second 45-second block, like second bit of work, you'll do 1 front raise and then 1 side raise. Now, when we go out to the side, it's just a soft bend of the knee. We're not coming out to fly where we have real bent arms. It's more from the thighs, the edge of your legs here, you just go out to the side. Okay, then we're going to change to slightly heavier weight. We're going to work some hammer curls. So from this position here, and then we're going to build on for the next 45 seconds. We're going to curl to press and bring it back here. And then our lucky last exercise, from your seated position, okay, you're going to slightly lean forward. Now the lean, you need to turn your core on and think about your ribs trying to come down towards your hips, okay? Our elbows are going to be tucked up here. I would say you're going to go back to probably a medium weight here. And we're going to come into some tricep kickbacks. Now, if these are not for you, you absolutely can do your extension with 1 dumbbell, okay? So that's our seated upper body. Won't talk you through the lower body just yet, but we are going to start with our arms. We're then going to go to legs. We're then going to finish with some abs. So you will need some floor space, but you will also need the chair. I'm going to move the chair out of the way once we're done, and I'll shift my mat back so that you can see a bit more clearer. Our warm up, we are going to be using a little bit of a standing sequence. So you will need, I'm going to point my camera down. There we are. All right, let me just get ourselves sorted here. Let's push play on my watch so I keep track of the time. We're going to start with interims. I'm starting at the back of the mat. I'm going to roll my hands down towards the floor, walk my hands out to that plank, pause there, bend through the legs, walk yourself all the way back up to standing. I know I'm slightly out of view, but it's so you can watch me come into the plank, bend through the legs, walk yourself up. Just keep going at your pace here. Depending what time you're doing this in the day, will really depend how the body feels, how quick it can move. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we are legs wide. Toes can be angled, toes can point forward. We're going to do some windmills, whatever feels good here. Bending through the legs, getting that rotation through the shoulders. So I'm going to try and bring, when I'm like really bring this other arm that's not reaching for the ankle all the way across, yeah? So that I can get some shoulder and chest rotation here. You're going to feel this through the inner thigh. You're reaching for your ankle, the middle of your calf, your knee if you need to. Good. We're here for 5 more. We're coming into squats next. 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, we know the drill with our squats. We start hip distance apart or slightly wider. Hands start by our side. We reach up overhead. We sit down in our squat. We stand tall, arms come back. We reach and lift, we sit, we stand and squeeze, hands come back. Let's do 3 more. Good. 2 more. The last one, we're going to hold down here and do a few little pulses here. Keep pulsing, little ones up and down for 4. 3, get ready to stand tall. 2, next time you lift, come all the way up. Hands come down. All right, just a little shoulder roll here. We're just going to wake up through the upper body now. Shoulders and the other way. Good. Hands by our side. Fingers stretched out. We're just going to do a few front, side raises here. So a little soft bend to those elbows. Okay. Drop those shoulders down. Think about how you're standing. Protect that lower back. On the next one, we're going to hold it out. Hold it out. Can you bend your elbows? Extend your elbows. We bend. We extend. Like you're bringing your fingernails in towards each other here in the middle of your chest. Good. We're here for another 5. Another 4. Another 3. 2. We're going to lengthen those arms out nice and long again. Can we sweep them around to the front? Can we drop them down to the thighs? We come up and down. Good. Up and down. Here for 5. Here for 4. We're going to take our fingernails all the way up, reaching towards the sky on this next one. Take it all the way up. Can you make fists? Can we come down like we're pressing? So we've got 10 presses here. For 9. For 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, oh my gosh, 2, and 1. Shake it out. All right, we should be warmed up. I'm going to keep my slippers on for now while we're in our seated. I am going to get out 4 kilos and my arms are really dead from the weekend. No, I'm going to try 4s and 6s. I'm actually really sore after the Pilates class that I did on Saturday morning, but I'm not too sore to not try the 6s. I can always try and drop down if I need to. So 4s and 6s, 5 exercises. I'm going to be here working for the next 5-minute block. Set my timer. 45. You have 15 seconds to be able to shake it out. All right, we start with those 4 kilo weights or your lighter end of the spectrum here. Palms, we're coming into those front raises. Let's go. Holy shit. Okay, maybe I should have gone lighter. Exhale, sweep those arms forward. Like the top of the dumbbell is trying to point up to the ceiling. We're moving slow, we're taking our time. Got space next to the legs for the arms to come back next to. Vinny, go upstairs, go have a cuddle with Daddy. Exhale, come up. Inhale, lower down. Only got 8 more seconds. Last 4, 3, 2, and time. It's amazing when you take the power of your legs away from you, so we have to use only from our torso up. So your arms and your core are really trying to connect here and work when we're not relying on those legs for any oomph and any assistance. All right, we build on. We go 1 forward. When you come back down, you go 1 out to the side. So 1 forward, 1 out to the side. Beautiful. 1 up and forward. 1 out to the side. You got it. Can you connect your breath? Exhale when we lift. Inhale when the arms come back towards the legs. 10 seconds to go, thank goodness. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and time. Shake it out. Okay. Option to go to your heavier little set of weights now for those hammer curls. So we've got our hammer curls about to happen. So we're from here, we're up and down. We go in 3, 2, 1. So start with both arms. If it gets too much, you can do one arm at a time. Yeah, like that. My 6s feel like 60. Posture is nice and tall. We're not rounding through the spine at any point here. We're not slumping through our mid-back and upper back. We're not rounding through that lower back and arching there. Last 7. Last 3, 2, and time. Put the weights down. Shake it out. So we build on. We got hammer curl to the shoulder, press, bring it back to the shoulder, we hammer curl down. All right, we go in 2. We go now. Let's hammer curl up. Hold there, press. Lower down to shoulder. Lower back down. Elbows are staying super glued in on these hammer curl bits. Press straight up. Pull it back down to the shoulder. All the way back down past the thigh. Woolly dooly. So I'm going to drop back to those 4 kilo weights for my triceps next. If you are going to do your tricep extension, you may be holding one of these weights overhead with both hands. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. So you might be here and here, trying to keep those elbows pointing forward. If you're doing your seated one with 2 dumbbells, we're going to tuck in those elbows and we're going to have that slight lean forward. All right, so let's find our hinge. Hinging forward, extend the arms long behind us. We curl ourselves back in. So watch that the chair that you're sitting on allows you to do this. If it doesn't, you take one way here, all the way down, all the way up. So you don't have to hop off your chair. Just need to make that little adjustment. Can we keep our neck nice and long if we're seated in this hinge position, looking about 1 meter in front of you on the floor? I know it's hard to keep the elbow in here because you feel like you're going to hit your chair. This is why we hinge forward. Maybe scoot your bottom to more of the edge of the seat. 3, 2, and 1. Let's give those arms a bit of a shake. A bit of a roll here. We're going to stretch the upper body before we move to legs. Okay, stretching across. I'm going to stretch as we go today. Good, take that arm up and over. Good, other side. Stretch across. Oh, take that arm up and over. Clasp the hands together. Let's push ourselves forward. And then knuckles. All right, grab a drink. We are working into legs now. So legs, we're going to do RDLs to begin. So I want you to get whatever you can get for your RDLs ready. We're then going to come down onto the floor. Instead of working a regular glute bridge with both feet on the floor, we are going to be doing single leg glute bridges. So what does that mean? That means that one of your legs, okay, connects to the floor, and the other one is either resting on that leg that's on the ground or it's up in the air. So before we add any weight, let's just find this position. So a normal glute bridge, my feet are on the floor, hip distance apart. My hands would be either holding a weight here or they can be resting there. Usually I would lift the hips and squeeze and then drop it down. So if you really hate single leg glute bridges, you're going to be doing 2 rounds just like this, all right? If we're doing single leg, first option, say I pick up the left foot and I'm going to come and rest my foot on my knee here so that when I push into my right, squeezing the right glute's working, left glute here, she's just chilling, okay? So this is the most simplest way to do it with no pressure through the left leg. Otherwise, the left leg to be active as well. Left leg would be in the air and I push and squeeze with the right hip, glute, and then a release here. My weight, my dumbbell is across the hip that is working, so the leg on the ground. Okay, and then my other hand can be just to stabilize, can be holding the weight with 2 hands across here. And then we place down and we do the other side, whatever version you're doing. Okay, so they're your first 3 moves. Okay, then we're going to be coming down and we're going to be doing some donkey kicks and things like that, one side then the other. So nothing very crazy here. We start with our RDLs, we then come onto the ground for our glute bridges, we then flip into 4-point kneel for our donkey kicks and fire hydrants. So choices of weights. I'm just going to use my 6s because they're right here, just to save me time to change it up. If you need to change it up, you just press pause now and get the weights that you want. We're on in 10 seconds. We start with those RDLs. Okay, hip distance apart. We go in 3, 2, and 1. So yes, I could obviously go a lot heavier, even myself here, but as I said, my body's feeling a little bit sore, so I'm going to be a little bit kind to it and work on my form instead of loading up the weights. So sometimes it is assessing how the body is feeling, and maybe today when you do this, you're like, oh, I'm fired up, I feel really good, I want to push. So push, okay? Know the days where you need to give yourself some grace, and know the days where you're lovingly going, we got this, let's go. Because if we don't have those sorts of days every day, we might have them 2 out of 3 times we train together, but there's always going to be probably one day of the week, time, that you're like, today's not that day. All right, let's come down. We're going to start with right leg working. So if you've got to work a single leg, I've got my 6 kilo dumbbell across the right hip, my left leg is ready in the air, and I lift and squeeze, lower down. Lift and squeeze, lower down. My left hand can be resting on the floor beside me. So obviously having this weight over my right hip, I have an extra 6 kilos of weight to thrust up towards the ceiling, and then with control bring back down. Lift and squeeze, lower it down. Your left leg can just be in tabletop if you like. Otherwise it can be fully trying to touch the ceiling. Or like I said, it can be resting on the right knee, or option to have both feet on the floor for 2 rounds. Time. We get ready to swap sides. You've got 15 seconds here to shake it out. Might feel weird. So this is my weird side. We get ready in 3, 2. We get ready now. We exhale, we lift, we squeeze, we inhale, bring it back down. Exhale, lift and squeeze, inhale, bring it back down. Maybe that right arm is reaching for the sky. Maybe it's got the hand on the belly to really be feeling the contractions through the muscles here. We lift and squeeze, we lower down when we inhale. Almost there. Last 10 seconds here now. Weight goes to the side. We don't need it for the last 2 moves. Time. All right, I'm just going to pause it for a second. What I will say is if you have, let me get it, one of these, if you have a booty band at home, you can add it on for these next 2 moves. So bringing it, here's my knees above the knees, okay? I'm going to do it with it on just to guide you, but if you don't have it, you don't need it. All right, I'll push play again. So we've got 10 seconds till we start. We are doing right leg to begin. We find our 4-point kneel. Okay, so we're finding that 4-point kneel. We flex the right toes. Flex the right toes. We come 1 donkey kick up. Bring the knee back in alignment. 1 fire hydrant. So it's 1 donkey kick. 1 fire hydrant. 1 donkey. 1 fire. Now, wrists, if they start to feel a little bit sore, fatigued, your left forearm can come down to the ground to take some pressure off. Won't affect what's happening
in that lower body. Can you switch your core on, belly button to spine? Think about that engagement through the ribs, through the belly. And time. Little child's pose, maybe to have a little stretch here. I'm going to swing around. We're ready to do the other side. Left leg works now. Flex the left leg. We go in 2. We go now. 1 donkey kick. 1 fire hydrant. 1 donkey kick. 1 fire hydrant. Good. This is our last move of our legs. We are going to come and finish with some abs. And then we are done. 1 fire hydrant, 1 donkey kick. Trying to kick the ceiling with that foot, but keep your spine neutral. We're not dumping through the lower back and arching the back to be able to get more height with that foot. The back stays like it's resting something there. Time. Like you're resting that dinner plate and it's not shaking. I'm taking the band off. All right. This is not my this is a fairly stretchy one, so it wasn't adding too much tension for me. If you had a really heavy band on, woolly dooly, you would have been working. We have got side planks to finish. Our abs today are side planks and planks. So, reminder with your side plank, I am going to be keeping my bottom leg down. If that is not for you and you want that full expression, then you will know to go for it and I will not need to guide you to it. However, I never really go to full expression because my whole mindset around a side plank is trying to create space from the ground to that hip that's lifted. So if I'm being able to get more height and more stability with that knee down, I'm going to take that every day of the week rather than just look cool out long, but feel like, I'm low to the ground. Feel like I'm feeling it through the shoulder too much, or my feet hurt and they're awkward in this position. There's no point. So go to what feels good for you. I'll set you up. We are going to do side planks. When we get to the last 10 seconds, we are going to add in some dips, okay? So it's just like you want to let the hips kiss the ground, we lift back up, we dip. We do both sides, then we finish with a forearm plank. Option to hold still, or we'll work those little hip dips where we're trying to kiss the ground either side. So you will choose whether you want hip dips, otherwise you will stick with just, I'm going to give us 12 seconds in between to change sides. We are working for 40 seconds. We've got 3 40-second blocks and we are done. I am starting resting on my left side of the body. My shoulder and elbow are in alignment. My hips are stacked on top of each other. My knees are stacked on top of each other. And I'm going to push with that bottom knee. So you can see I've got the space here. My top leg is just in midair, but maybe yours is resting. Can you look forward rather than down? Adjusting that elbow if you need. Good, we've got 23 seconds left. In 10, we add on the dips. Maybe that top arm reaches for the sky. We're going to dip in 4, 3, you hold still if you want. Let's dip. Dip the ground and lift. We dip, we lift, we dip and lift. You're almost there. Almost done. Waiting for that buzzer. Time. Let's spin around and do the other side. You've got 12 seconds to prepare. Get the elbow and shoulder top. Knees are stacked on top of each other. Hips are stacked on top of each other. We lift. You adjust that elbow as you go. We lift. So our torso is shooting forward. Our hips are shooting forward. Good thing when the knee's down is you can readjust really easily without having to fully come all the way down. In 12, we hip dip. Ooh. Pushing up from that shoulder so that there's space between the ear and your shoulder. Let's hip dip in 3. In 2. In 1, we dip and lift. Dip and lift. You got 6 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh my God. All right, a normal plank to finish. I'm going to face this way so I can see the timer. We're coming down on our forearms in 2. We're coming down there now. All right, so you may stay still like this, otherwise working those hip dips, trying to swivel side to side, like your hips want to kiss the ground. Mine are going nowhere near the ground, but the idea is there. At 10 seconds to go, we're all going to hold still. Let me see the time. Yep, let's hold still now. We've got 10 to go. Looking at your fists of your hands. Nearly there. Time. Stretch yourself back, child's pose. All right. We are going to stand and take a stretch of those legs. Growing onto something if you need to. Let's just take a little quad stretch. Beautiful. Let's do the other side. Whoop. Let's try. Oi, lost my balance. Good. Getting that seat, because you should still have your seat pretty handy. I'll bring one back. We're going to sit down and take a good stretch seated. So you're crossing one leg across. Bring that leg, the other leg out in front of you as much as you need. Enjoy the stretch here. Beautiful. Breathe into it. Maybe you press that knee away. Maybe you try and bring your chin towards your foot that you can see here. You can get a little bit of a extra range. 3 more. 2. We swap over. Other leg. Oh, hoist it up. Oh my God. I swear, I feel like my hips, my glutes, they're always just so tight in these positions. Good, maybe working that little lean with that chin, maybe pressing that knee away. You're here for 5 more. Our legs are going to come nice and wide in 3, 2, 1. So come really nice and wide with your legs. Now, option to bring your hands towards the floor, otherwise maybe they just glide down your legs. We're going to try and bring the chest through the space here for this final little stretch. So wherever you are, use an exhale. Come on down. Maybe you're taking your hands on the tops of your feet. Let the head droop. Relax here. Maybe the hands are stretching out in front. Whatever feels good for you here. Last 5. Big inhale. Final exhale. Walk the hands back towards your chair. Back up here. We are done. High fives. Not as killer as you've had in the past, but I wasn't feeling like killing myself today. So we have had, I feel like, a little bit more of a gentle movement today. The legs were a lot more gentle. Upper body was a burner though. Core is always hard when you're in side planks, but well done for showing up, getting it done. Well done for me getting up. I really was exhausted this morning. It was a real struggle. I was sitting there sipping my coffee, was watching something about the Saints Footy Club. I was listening to something and I was like, oh my God, it's like 3 to 6. I really need to walk downstairs and get myself organised. So we all feel like we don't want to move, don't want to do it. But I tell you what, I feel better that I have. It's kickstarted my day. I'm going to go up and just, now I can get on with my day and go have a shower and all the things. Proud of you for showing up when you need to, showing up and fitting it into your life. Questions, comments, pop them below. Otherwise, see you on Wednesday for MetaPower. It is going to be upper body MetaPower. So let's go. Bye.